I've been busy.
And we're live on Monday night. When was the last time we recorded on Monday night? I don't
It's
remember.
been a long time, several years, I would bet.
Yeah, because even you thought I forgot because I was late, but I guess Chris did forget.
Chris did forget. So for everyone out there, why we're 3 minutes late, blame Jack,
why?
but mostly Chris.
Yeah, he's vaping all that pot, so that's
Yeah.
that's and marijuana is a memory loss drug, so he's got reefer madness.
Well, I think it's also taking a lot of right hooks to the head, from old men. Yeah, all the fighting.
Oh my god.
Sherry's already got like a whole plethora of questions for you in the chat.
Yeah, she asked if I had still using my cane. No, luckily I gave up the cane like 3 weeks ago, I think, something like that, because it was a real drag. I mean, carrying the cane. But it's funny. The other day, I think did I talk about it last time? I had this extreme pain in my big toe. I'm like going, it was like a burning sensation, and I was like going, Jesus Christ! And then leg hurt, my ankle hurt again that day.
It makes sense, Jack, because you are like the big toe.
And Sergeant Hulka is not going to always be there with the big toe.
With the big toe.
Yeah, it was one of those things that goes, you're screaming. And then I know medicine is expensive because what you have to take. But I got my blood thinners, the next round of blood thinners. And my wife goes, because my share was $45. I go, Jesus Christ.
Damn.
And she goes, well, you know how much they are? They're $680 or $90 on top of that. I go, wow, I go, but it's for a 6-month supply. She goes, no. She goes, no, that's 30 days.
Holy shit.
I go, what if I didn't have insurance? I would have to take the pills.
Oh yeah.
Or die.
Yeah.
I just said, I go, that is just ridiculous. And I get that these pharmaceutical companies have to go through, jump through hoops, but there comes a time where you're just gouging people because they have to take it or they die.
I mean, it's been coming down a little bit for me because in 2009, I was on pens and shots back then for insulin. So everyone out there, I'm diabetic if you didn't know. It was like $300 a box for 5 pens. And that would last me probably 2.5 months. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, but then the insurance would. So basically the way my insurance, because I bought it when I was 21, was that I pay everything out of pocket. And then I'm reimbursed 85% a few weeks later. So I always know exactly what it costs. And then I get a big check,
right.
But and then when Obamacare passed in 2009 or 10, whenever that was, that's when it really shot through the roof, because I'm not sure exactly what the wordage was or what insurance companies were doing, but they were doing something to offset stuff. Because then the highest it ever was $1,400 for that same box.
For a month?
For 2.5 months.
2.5. Okay.
Of insulin. And then, but though it went down again, probably 5 years ago, tremendously. Well, I switched from doing pens to doing vials with a meter and all that. And then it was roughly $400, probably 5 years ago, for 6 vials. And 6 vials last me a while, like probably close to 3 months.
You have to do it every day, right?
Yeah. Well, what you do with a meter, it's different. Like when you're doing shots, you basically before you eat, you calculate how many carbs you're probably going to eat. Then you give yourself a shot, and then you'll spike a little bit because the food hits you before the insulin does, and then you'll come back down. But with a pod, you have 2 different kinds of insulin. Well, it's really just one, but 2 different types of systems. You have the one that will just give you a little drip throughout the day, and then you have one that you calculate as you eat. And Chris can talk to you about diabetes as well. But then this year, for some reason, I noticed it last year dropped too. But now I bought 6 vials maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was $135. so it really has come down a lot for insulin anyhow, which is good. And now, $135. I got to check today for that, and I got like 108. So I was like, woohoo!
So you're paying $17.
Right? Yeah, I'm paying it pretty cheap. So
that's not bad.
So some things work out and some things don't. There's other medicines I have that insurance does not cover, and so you're like, fuck. It definitely when you have to do the 3-month supply of that, but just different stuff. So it's my crazy pills. No, I'm kidding, but.
Well, I believe it.
Yeah. Speaking of crazy, did you guys watch I don't think Chris has ever watched The Bear, but did you watch The Bear? I know Matt and I did.
I watched season 1 of The Bear, but we canceled Hulu a while back.
Oh, damn it! You just got it, and then
my wife said, "Well, we're going to cancel it for a while." I said, "Oh, go ahead. No, I'm not watching anything." And of course, The Bear comes back. The Bear. Yeah, it's good. I knocked out season 2 this weekend. It's really good. It's not quite as good as season 1, but it's up there. It's where it needed to go. All the episodes are up there.
Yeah, they put them all up in one day, all 10 episodes.
Really?
And Hulu? Most of them, on Hulu, and most of them range, from 30 minutes to about 50 minutes. And there's definitely one episode that deals with mental issues, and man, that's a tough one to watch, but it's a good one. And that something must have happened with all the rave reviews of Bear season 1, because that episode, talk about an all-star cast they got for that. It's I never know their names, but it's Better Call Saul, it's Jamie Lee Curtis. It's like all these actors that you're like, damn, like who paid for this episode?
Well, a lot of them might just want to do it too.
True.
It's if it shows hot. Yeah.
What, Chris?
It's like we're turning people away from
wagon. It's like a hot show to be
right.
In.
Yeah, we're turning people away from the RCAD all the time.
All the time.
With a stick. Sorry for my tardiness. Fucked up. My bad.
I thought you were the one that suggested Monday.
I might have, dude. It's been a fucking long day and a long few days, to be honest with you. Like, my day started. Well, I got home last night at 1:30 from the Grateful Dead concert, which was awesome. And then I had a root canal at 8 a.m.
Nice.
That was not pleasant.
That was today.
This morning, yeah.
This morning, yeah.
Yeah. So I got like 5 hours, not even 5 hours sleep last night. Got my root canal this morning.
Oh yeah.
But yesterday, we were away all weekend for my daughter's field hockey tournament up in New Hampshire. I rented an Airbnb.
New Hampshire.
For a couple of days, and we got home. We already planned out. Have a babysitter's going to come meet us at the house. We're going to go to the concert. This, that, and the other.
Yeah.
My fucking air conditioner broke. My central air.
Well, at least it's not humid.
It's been like a cool year, though.
Dude, it is a fucking sauna in my house. Like, my hair looks. Look at that.
I do. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, crack some windows, man.
Oh, dude, yeah. So, but it's hot. It's fucking humid outside. So it's like opening windows isn't helping. But yeah, so we have central AC. I'm pretty sure it's just a blown capacitor. I just don't feel like dealing with like going to an HVAC supply company. You can't buy those parts at like Home Depot, So hopefully I'm gonna have someone here tomorrow to fix it. But I did go to Home Depot today and buy myself a portable air conditioner. So not only did I get a root canal, I had to drop $500 in a fucking air conditioner, and I'll probably have to drop another few $100 tomorrow getting that motherfucker fixed. It's fucking hot in here.
I remember
it's fucking hot in here.
If you remember my old place, it was a little small piece of shit. And it only had one little window unit. And I went to Best Buy and bought one of those indoor ACs. That was one of the best investments I ever made.
I borrowed one from a friend of mine a few years back, because whenever we go to the Cape for like next week, actually, we go to the Cape. The house we stay at, it's on the beach. There's no air conditioning, no central air. It's just it's a fucking shack on the beach. So we bring that portable air conditioning unit, and it like cools the whole place down in 2 minutes because it's a small little place. But that thing shit the bed last year, so I bought a new one today, and we'll hold on to it just for the times we need it. Like, my bedroom is on the other side of the house. It's got huge vaulted ceilings. Like it's kind of a stupid big. Like, it's a stupidly large bedroom. like the people who built this house, that they definitely like went after it and like built a fucking huge ass room.
Just addressing what Randy said. That is true though, but I've got those big ass units, they stick in hotels, but it always pisses. I keep it at 66 because I like to sleep really cold.
Yeah,
and
and
I'm not paying for electric, so it's like
neither am I. I get it from the sun.
Yeah, and so but they it pisses me off was like every now and then, like when the housekeeping comes in, they'll put it back up to 72, and I'm like, I walk in, I'm like, it's not 66 in here. I'm like, fuck you, it's going down.
I used to work in Palm Desert, and then like 3 days a week, and then like 3 or 4 days a week, and then San Diego at a rink. And they put me in this hotel, the inn at Palm Desert, whatever it was. But I would literally put the air down as low as I could, put do not disturb on it when I was going back to San Diego. And so when I came back 3 days later, I go, oh, it's still cool in here because it's 115. It's 115 degrees, and
what's the dry heat?
Yeah, it is a dry heat, but it's too hot. It's hot
as shit. You're sitting on the fucking sun. Yeah.
No, but I felt so bad, right? Because we got home, we got home from the concert last night. I'm not sure, quarter after. I think it's like 12:30. But
your babysitter.
I've never seen a babysitter fucking leave faster than my babysitter left last night, because she was just sitting like in a pool of her own sweat in our living room. I felt so fucking bad. She's probably just like rushing to get to her car so she can turn the AC on or whatever. But
just would have been surrounded by fans.
It's been absolutely miserable in this fucking house. So hopefully the worst part about it is like I did a fair amount of diagnosing of the situation, testing things out, and it's like a $17 part that needs to get swapped out. That I know I'm gonna end up paying like $300 to do, but it is what it is.
Oh yeah, like speaking of parts, and I'll give you a house update too. So we've got one side of the house pretty much fixed. All the pipes are repaired, got water pressure, and so when we were testing, it just happened to be Friday, right at noon, and he turns it on. I'm like, "Yep, we're good." Turn on the sink, and we're good. I was like, "All right, I'm gonna make lunch," because it was right at the time to eat lunch, and I opened up my fridge, and the water filter had apparently busted during this time, and during when everything froze. And I opened it up,
funny.
It's just water just pouring inside the fridge. I'm like, God damn it! Turn the water off! Turn the water off!
That's just fun. That's comedy, is what that is.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. But the same thing is like, it's not that old of a fridge, but I couldn't find the exact filter for it. So I did end up finding it. It was $89 for that fucking filter.
For a filter?
Yeah. God damn it. Nothing's cheap anymore.
That's true. That's true.
You got the fancy fridge, one that dispenses water.
Yeah, and ice.
It's like the Luxus refrigerators.
Yeah, actually, I hate that fridge a lot. Actually, I mean, it's the one that came with the house, so I'll keep it as long as it works. But because it's got one of those fucking alarm systems on it that if you keep the refrigerator door open longer than 10 seconds, it just goes.
It starts beeping at you,
and like I just want to every time it goes off, I just want to punch the fuck out of it. Because you can temporarily turn it off, but then it's like 5 seconds. So that's you just constantly like I'm loading the refrigerator, just restocking it, just full of just. Like, I get it. Shut the fuck up. I don't have rage issues or anything.
Doesn't sound like it.
No.
So speaking of my first fucking root canal this morning.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal, was it?
I did not feel one thing.
Awesome.
I mean, I was impressed by it, because I know I shared with you guys in the last week's show how I was fucking terrified and anxiety-driven trip to the dentist or whatever. So I went on Friday and they got everything checked out. Like, yeah, dude, you need to get a root canal. I need to get a crown. I'm like, fuck, man. That's the Fenway model. What's that?
I don't get it.
Refrigerator, isn't it?
Oh.
Right? Leaky pond. I don't.
Just that it's
no idea. But
elaborate, Randy.
Yeah, elaborate on that one, Randy.
Maybe because I want to punch the fuck out of it at Fenway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it is.
Fucking hell.
All right, that was funny, Randy.
Hey, so I was just reading. Apparently, last night's Dead and Company show set a record for Fenway Park for the most tickets sold to a single event at Fenway Park. Over 70-something thousand people went.
Very nice.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's great show. I mean, fuck, man, it was sad to walk out of that stadium last night because that's the last time I'm going to see him.
Yeah.
You know?
You got a Tennessee Jed. Saw that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of the 3 set lists I've seen, man, I think that we've gotten some really fucking great music this year, and sad to see him go. But man, it's been not gonna say it. It's been a long strange trip.
Trip.
I said it. But no, it was an incredible show last night, and one of the friends that we went with, one of the guys that really wanted to hear Ripple. And that's the song they closed with last night. It was like perfect. It was so perfect. Nice. No, dude, you don't punch anybody. Nobody gets punched at a Dead concert, man. Everyone's just happy.
And if you do,
it's
Foxborough.
Foxborough.
A lot of drugs. It's accidental contact.
It's Foxborough where people get punched, right?
Yep. That's true.
It's funny. I was watching something on YouTube. Now, Fenway Park is one of my, it's one of my bucket list stadiums to go to.
Yeah.
Before I die, but I was watching this guy. He said, "Worst seats at Fenway Park," and he was showing these different.
Oh my god!
One was a chair
with first baseline. Absolutely. So if you sit with the first baseline, if you're sitting at the first baseline,
this was in the outfield.
Well, the outfield's also terrible. But if you're sitting in the first baseline, the grandstand's in the overhang, like your seat is probably like this wide. So it's probably maybe 18 inches wide. Because they're built for people whose skinny asses in 1920, right? Mm-hmm. So you're sitting there in your seat and you're, facing forward. And if you want to watch the at bat, you got to do one of these.
Right.
Like you can't see anything.
Well, this one in the outfield. I go, that has to be a free seat because you cannot see the fucking game. There's no way you can see the fucking game from that seat. And then they were showing. I don't know what level it was, but the overhang was so low that you could only see the bottom portion. You could see like home plate, second base, first base,
grandstand seats,
and maybe a little bit of the outfield. I go, all right. We have a TV up here, though, for you to watch the game. I go, this absolutely sucks. Why would you? I go, I know Fenway has a lot of history, but it's time to tear it down and get a new stadium.
Fuck you. No, it's not.
You're ripping people off.
Right. But they still pay for it. Doesn't matter. No, Fenway, they can't do that. There's no fucking way.
It's like
I think if they do Wrigley Field, then Boston will have no excuse. They'll have to.
No, they won't do it. This town would fucking have an uprising if they tore down Fenway Park.
I mean, they did the Yankee Stadium.
They'd get over it.
Dude, no, don't. People in fucking Yankee Stadium. Like,
that was the house that Ruth built.
Dude, but I'll tell you, though, that new stadium sucks. If there's any like, reason to not do it. Like, the new have you been to the newer Yankee Stadium?
I never went to the older Yankee Stadium.
Oh, well. I mean, the old one was a dump, too, but at least it had character. It had some, The new one's just like a fucking bullshit stadium. The cookie cutter place like all the other ones. However, Petco, of all the newest stadiums, Petco is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. It's just a shame they got a shitty team playing in there.
Man, the cheaters. Well, one of them is.
Yeah.
He cheated when he wasn't playing.
Anyhow,
he was never caught cheating when he was playing. He's a superstar. Sure, I was pissed last year, but now I've overlooked it.
You sound like someone who defends someone who deflates balls.
Everyone does it, man.
Yeah. I doubt you guys remember it, but like just speaking of obstructive view, I always think of it when someone says that word. There was an episode of Wings back, 30 years ago, where when Helen and Joe were dating, Helen bought Joe. Actually, it was probably within like a week's time because she had to. But like apparently in this fictitious time, Boston was supposed to be in the pennant or the series or something, and she bought tickets for her and Joe to go. but he was already dating someone, and she had given him the tickets. So he was taking his new girlfriend to the game. She's like, "You can't do that. I bought the tickets for us. We're going." He's like, "Well, too late," you know. And so to make up for it, he gets her a ticket, and then when she sees it, it just says "Ob's View" on it, and she's like, "Ob's View? Where the fuck?" You know, she didn't say fuck, but she's like, "Where the hell is that?" And some other random guy walks by and goes, "Oh, that means obstructive view. You're better watching it at home." And then, of course, the episode was pretty good, but you know, basically, I think they end up like ripping up the tickets, like over fighting over them, and it's like, and no one goes. But,
You know the actress that played Helen Chapel. What's her name in real life?
Christine or Crystal.
Crystal Meth.
that's right.
No, Crystal something. Anyway, she used to date Crystal Bernard. Yeah, she used to date Rush Limbaugh.
Really? I would never have thought that. No.
I read about it. I was like,
that doesn't make sense.
Because she was attractive, and I'm like going, okay, Rush Limbaugh. Yeah.
My dad loved that show just for her. He had a massive crush on her.
Oh yeah, she's beautiful.
Well, she was great, and It's a Living, right? And then on Happy Days. So she was on Happy Days.
She was on No.
Yeah.
She must have been like a child on Happy Days.
I don't know. She was on Happy Days. That's all I know.
Okay.
It was towards the end of the.
Okay, because I think she's like 30 at the first season of
Wings.
Wings, so that would make sense. Yeah, for 10 years prior. Yeah, like maybe 20.
And Tim Daly, who's his sister?
I don't know. His real life sister?
His real life sister.
I don't know.
Tyne Daly. Cagney and Lacey.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Dirty Harry.
Mm-hmm. Man, acting really is like just a inbred.
It's nepotism.
Yeah, it's nepotism.
Yeah. Anyway. I did read today that the teenager didn't want to go with his dad on the
Yeah, like somebody put that in our Facebook group.
Is that what I saw? He brought the Rubik's Cube down to break the record.
No, I thought. The story that got posted on Facebook was that the mother wanted to go, but then the kid
She gave it up for him.
Yeah, because it had been reported that he didn't want to go.
Yeah, so, but I guess he did want to go. Well, he wanted to take the Rubik's Cube to break a record. I think he did. It's the fastest a Rubik's Cube's been destroyed. Right. So is that what? Too soon?
No.
Terrible.
Well, that's what I sent you guys that image a couple hours ago of the three guys are now going to go up into space. On the private
Virgin. Season 2. It's gonna be great.
The Virgin. It's like season 2 is going to be awesome, man. Yeah.
Now, would you do that? Would you go into space?
Yes.
I would go into space way more than go visit the Titanic.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And it'd be one of those things where I don't know, because like William Shatner said that, and then it actually is a very common experience they don't talk a lot about in NASA, is that you're going to have two reactions when you go into space. Is that either you're going to be like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever done in my life, or you're hit with such a massive hit of melancholy because your brain realizes how small and nothing you are. And then when you're looking at Earth, it's beautiful. But then when you see just the vastness of black and realize how alone you are, it hits you differently. And that's what happened to William Shatner. He said, like, a lot of times when you come back and you start crying, that's why you're crying. It's because it's just like,
well, I'm like already there.
I already time 100.
I already realize I'm nothing. So it doesn't. So there's no risk there. I can just go to space. But no, I've always wanted. Like I said, I'd go to the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had enough room to stretch out, yeah. But like, you couldn't put me in one of those fucking tin cans like Apollo 11 and 12 and 13.
No, there was a documentary that came out. It was on Netflix, I believe, about that. I forgot the name of it, but it was the first civilian manned spacecraft. I don't know if it was SpaceX, I believe, sponsored it. But they sent up like 5 civilians that essentially powered one of the SpaceX space shuttles and headed up to space and stuff. It was awesome. It was a really cool documentary to watch. How they chose like like one of the people that was chosen for the trip was a girl who had survived childhood cancer and ended up being like a nurse at the hospital that saved her, right? And then she got to go up as kind of like an advocate. Like the captain of the space of the whole mission was this billionaire guy who like was obsessed with aviation and whatever, but everybody else were relatively normal people, normal individuals. And like one of the dudes is like a random guy like you or I, right? And like it was just kind of cool to see these folks who like they go through like this year-long like trainings to go up into space, and they finally get to go up there. And one of the coolest parts about their ship was once they were up in orbit, they had a glass dome that would open up, that they would be able to kind of go through the airlock and pop their head up.
Oh.
And like their head would be in a glass dome, like looking out at space. And some of the craziest photography is taken from that glass dome. And I was watching that. I was like, fuck, I would go up tomorrow in that spaceship and do what they got to do.
But you have to train for a year?
Yeah. I think it was like 8 months to a year to train.
Oh my god. Is there a speed course? Is there a something you can do in like a week?
It was really cool.
The cliff notes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the name of it. But Jack, I was trying to share my screen. I don't know if you saw that or not.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
No. I wanted to.
Yeah, that's
still there or no?
That's what should happen. Is like for everyone who's like a professional who earned their trip up there, you should send someone like Willie Nelson or Snoop Dogg as well, and just have a live podcast of their reaction to going into space.
Well, Willie Nelson would be high. I guess Snoop Dogg would be too.
But that's something like if you ever listen to Snoop Dogg narrate nature videos, it's the funniest fucking shit you'll ever watch. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're not seeing my request, are you?
No.
That's weird.
I don't see it.
I was trying to show some obstructed view from
from Fenway.
Fenway.
Well, while you're doing that,
no worries.
This would be a good time to take a commercial break.
Fine. I'm trying to think anything else that we've done in the last 3 days. Does that talk to you guys?
Well, I'm 3 episodes away from finishing Succession.
Okay.
I just finished this. Wait, is there 10 episodes this season or 9? 10. Okay,
yeah,
I'm 3 episodes away. I just finished episode 7, and I'm trying to figure out, without spoiling anyone who hasn't seen it, is the guy trying to buy the thing, is he playing the brothers about the whole thing in India? I think he is. Because it's like it just seems too easy for them to and they're not the they keep being told they're not Logan, and they're not Logan.
Like that to me is kind of a secondary story compared to the main, and it's not going to end the way you think it is. Like I told you that, but the funeral episode is
well, that's the next one, I think.
Yeah, that's the one you're gonna be like, wow, it's a good episode.
John the Retired Guy says, I have a split screen of RCAD and Hogan's Heroes on my TV. Dun, 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 dun,
Damn,
dun, dun,
did Sherry just mute us? Wow.
Wow.
I didn't realize we knows that.
Oh,
I didn't realize we knows
Succession talk.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't think we. No, I don't think it's. Well, no.
Yeah, no, we're good. We don't have to talk about it. But it's a good. I mean, I was happy with Succession season 4. I liked it better than Barry season 4. I thought Barry kind of ended a little okay. Like you're just kind of like when it's done, you're like, okay, I get it. But it wasn't one of those like because Barry was so good, and then I just kind of was like, okay. But I when you think about it, you're like, well, how else could it have ended really? But still good.
Yeah, I'll start Barry after I finish. I've been doing a rewatch of The Office. I just finished the dinner party.
Well, that's one of the best. Yeah.
It's got to be. I don't know if it is the best episode, but it's not. Brent ends up running Waystar.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's, but it is it is a really, really good episode.
Mm-hmm. Some people theorize that she was actually plotting to kill Michael.
I think
in that episode, yeah.
I think. Well, he said it. He goes, "I don't have proof, but I think she's trying to kill me."
Mm-hmm.
When he says to Pam, and Pam, Michael had told Jan that Pam and her were once lovers. And she goes, "No, never, never." Of course, Angela goes, "Yeah, I've seen you looking at him." But I've been singing that song all day long. You took me by my hand, made me a man. That night you made everything all right.
So pull back the curtain a little bit. Nick texted me at 9:31 tonight, being like, "Where the fuck are you, idiot?" Like, and I happened to be finishing watching a movie.
That is not my
movie.
That's not how he said it, but it's definitely how he meant it. Justifiably so. I was absent from the beginning of the show.
It was a group chat.
Jackson Glaffelder, I have not seen that. No.
I was watching because my daughter wanted to watch a movie. She ordered out Chinese food tonight and wanted to watch a movie, and she's getting into like watching like 80s movies. You know, movies I used to watch when I was a kid.
Oh, so you're gonna let her watch Porky's?
Temple of Doom.
So I was flipping through my catalog that I have on Apple, like my iTunes purchase.
Critters.
Nope. We watched Rad.
Rad, okay.
Rad.
And my God, I have seen that movie probably 557 times.
Who's in Rad?
The only the notables are Lori Loughlin. What's her name? Played oh Christ, what was her name? The actress that played from Rocky, Talia Shire.
Talia Shire.
And Bart Connor.
Bart Connor, the gymnast.
80s gymnast.
No wonder that's so hard to get off.
Well, he was in was it Jim Cotta, where he was a karate guy but gymnast?
I have no idea. But so I think in the 80s he was like, you know, the hot ticket back in the day. You know what I mean? And,
you forgot Bill Allen was in it.
Oh, Bill Allen! I don't even know who he is. I only know him as Crew Jones. I didn't think he was notable at all.
I'm just.
Oh, okay. You're looking at IMDb.
Yeah.
The movie is. It just happens to be one of the those movies that my friend had on VHS. And like,
Ray Walston's in it.
Yes, he is. The Ray Walston. I'm the same character in every 80s movie. Walston.
My favorite Martian.
Yep.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Chad Hayes is in it.
Are you going to make her watch two of my favorite 80s movies, which no one watches, which is The Last Dragon and Monster Squad?
The Wolfman's got nards, bro. Of course, if she's going to watch the Monster Squad. That's like a rite of passage. You kind of have to watch Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Like, although she gets easily scared with stuff, right? So, like, I was going to have her watch Goonies, and she's like, no, I don't want to get scared, blah, blah, blah. And then I was going to have her watch Indiana Jones. She's like, no, I don't want to get scared. But she wanted to watch like the 5 minutes that my friend Dave is in. So we ended up watching that first 5 minutes of that scene and then turning it off.
John, the retired guy, Last American Virgin is a good one. The acting in that movie is so bad, though.
Well, so I mean, acting in 80s movies is bad. I'm talking manifest bad. Like,
when his best friend
daughter is like, this is terrible.
When his best friend goes with the girl, dates the girl that he likes, and he's driving away crying, I go, come on, dude, can we get a better actor?
He's right.
You're terrible. But it's funny.
So bad.
I went over to my my daughter and son-in-law's house yesterday. He was fixing our brakes and stuff like that, and they have Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark on, and they're just starting, and I go, are you watching this? And she goes, well, I found out Steven has never seen it. That's her husband's name. I go, wait, what?
Yeah.
I go, what? I go, if I knew this back when, I wouldn't have given you permission to marry my daughter. I mean, That's come on. How do you?
Yeah,
He goes,
for real.
I haven't seen any of them. I go, okay, but you've never seen Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Not any of the Indiana Jones movies?
No.
What the hell? I think actually Raiders. I would bet that Raiders was probably the last one I saw growing up. I mean, because I think probably Crusade or Temple. I know I saw one of those first before I saw Raiders.
Yeah,
I saw it in the theater.
It was Temple for me.
Yeah. But going back, Chris, have you seen The Last Dragon though? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Last Dragon, as in fucking Show Enough.
Show Enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually saw an advertisement today for a Show Enough karate gym T-shirt, and I was like, maybe.
Yeah, I have a Daddy's Green Pizza T-shirt, which you really have to know that movie to get that T-shirt.
Dude, that movie is terrible acting. Is terrible acting. That is a fucking terrible.
You should show her. You should show her the Sure Thing. Sure Thing with John Cusack. What's her name? Daphne, something with a Z. She was in Melrose Place.
She's also in Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, yes. There you go. That would have been a better choice.
You should also make her watch Cannonball Run 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a good call. Those are staples from back in the day.
Those are lighthearted comedies, just a good old car race.
Yeah.
That's her name. Yeah, he's bound down. But yeah, I The Sure Thing is one of the funnier movies I've ever seen.
But it's funny though. I think about so at the time, I think Rad is rated PG, right? I think probably PG. And I'm watching it with my daughter, and there's definitely things in the movie that I would be like, oh, well, she probably shouldn't have heard or seen that. PG in the 80s is way fucking different than it is now. It's
absolutely
completely different rating.
I don't think there's any nudity in this. Have you guys seen The Sure Thing?
No.
I'm telling you, you will laugh. It does hold up.
There's basically nudity in every 80s film.
Yep.
But not this one, no.
I blame Logan's Run, even though it's 78. I think starting with Logan's Run, that point on, it's just you know what? We need a pair of tits right now.
I think Logan's Run was 77, wasn't it?
It's one of the two, 77 or 78.
It came out before Star Wars. It came out after Star Wars.
Okay, so I think it's 78. But you know how in Logan's Run,
we're wet. We have to take off our clothes in the ice.
Yeah, and Jennifer Aguirre just
drops. I'm wearing a white T-shirt. Gee, I need to go stand in that waterfall right now. that's how it was. The white T-shirt was the red shirt of Star Trek for 80s movies. If you see a woman wearing a white T-shirt in an 80s movie, make sure you keep it on the screen for a while because you're going to see them things. That's how it was.
The Deep with Nick Nolte and Jacqueline.
Heck yeah! She in the beginning when she gets up out of that boat. Oh my god!
Yeah.
How many times people freeze frame that?
She's got a white T-shirt.
Yeah.
Matt Kay says Kentucky Fried Movie. That's a good one, but probably not for your daughter.
Good. Yeah, Mannequin's good. And then even Police Academy. The butch cop. How many times did you want to see her?
Oh my god!
And then it finally happens. And you're like, ah! I mean, the white T-shirt. I mean, to Chris's point,
she was incredible.
She was on Laverne and Shirley, I think, wasn't she?
Too far back for me.
Was she also? No, she wasn't. The hammer throw from the Apple computer commercial.
I don't think she was.
I don't think so.
Same outfit though.
What blows my mind about actresses is how many times you've seen them and stuff, and you don't realize it's the same actress. As in, because they're minor characters. Because James Cameron, for example, has that habit of using the same actors in almost all of his movies. And so if you think about
what's the ones he slept with.
Well, yeah, but think about the Marine in Aliens who has the big automatic machine gun, right? She's also in Terminator 2. She's the mom, and she's also in she was also in Titanic, but she's always playing these minor characters that you don't realize that she's in.
Oh, she's the mom that
gets that's her.
Oh, that's right.
It's because she has long curly hair in Terminator 2, whereas she's butch and muscle in Aliens. and you don't realize that's the same actress. You know, just the.
Oh, speaking of Butch and Muscle, I know this is how my my brain works sometimes. It goes in different directions.
Sherry says it's a mad world before we go on. That's the original.
I believe I forgot what it's called, but there's an unauthorized documentary being released or is released, I think, on Netflix about the American Gladiators.
Yes.
You know, the 80s, and there's a tie in here too. It's in the 80s as well. So American Gladiators, this documentary looks pretty fucking crazy about the.
I was training to be I was going to go try out to be a contestant on that show.
Everyone wanted to be on that show.
I was working out. I was gaining weight for the. And I said I could do this. There's certain things
apparently it was all real, like every second of it.
The bike one would have killed me.
Yeah, I would have struggled on the bike one, but like the gauntlet thing where they're shooting tennis balls at you, I'd have been good at that one.
I'd have loved that one. Yeah.
And the football one,
everybody,
the ball I've been good at that one.
Every person wanted to be on that show. I mean, it just looked
fun.
fun. Yeah.
The gerbil balls going over the what do you call it? The activator, the steam thing shoots up in the air when you're in the gerbil ball.
Oh, the ball! I forgot. Yeah, the ball. Yeah, the steel balls. That would have been. I'm surprised that some dumb fucking millionaire doesn't put that up somewhere. Like, do American Gladiators.
Oh, do the course. Like, that'd be awesome.
In a submarine. No. I'm too old to do it now.
John says I'd be good at the big Q-tip fight. Yeah, that was the joust.
Yeah.
And there's the one where they stood in a platform and you took a rope swing and barreled into them, trying to knock them off the platform.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Matt Kay says it's on Netflix.
They would have a pad.
Matt Kay says it's on Netflix June 28th. Do you mean like an all new season or reruns? What do you mean?
No. The actual documentary.
Oh, the documentary. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
They had the one female gladiator who was just a normal size girl lady, and she could never do anything to stop the contest. Like if they swung the rope and she'd be like that, she'd go flying up because they ended up getting some women that obviously had been working out.
Oh heck yeah!
And they were like, okay, I don't even know if I'd mess with those girls.
Yeah. So apparently this documentary has all the behind the scenes stuff, like all the drugs and like the steroids and all this stuff. Yeah, it was actually happening behind the scenes. And
it was that time period.
Well, who was your favorite? Who was your favorite gladiator?
Nitro,
yeah.
I don't remember them. I just remember they were all like Laser, Blazer, and
Nitro, and oh my god,
Skank,
Gemini.
Yeah.
Anyways, should be a good watch.
Who's your favorite running man?
Throw in a list of stuff I'm never gonna get to see again.
Running Man. I need to do a rewatch. I need to watch that movie again.
It's a good one. Like
that's a good 80s movie, right?
It is a good 80s movie. Yeah, the Running Man. Yeah, and people. It's a forgotten Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I think every now and then it comes on reruns, but it's a good one. It's overshadowed by Twins and Commando and Predator.
What was the premise of that show? Movie?
It's a TV show. And then the guy who did Family Feud host
Richard Dawson. Richard Dawson was the host, who was also in Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, that's right, he was. That's right. And Love Boat. I think.
Well, everyone was in the Love Boat.
Everyone was in Love Boat. That's true.
Well, I wasn't, but most everybody was.
But basically, the premise of it, Chris, is that you have these gladiators who are basically mercenaries in a way, and people could bet illegally on and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they basically they're kind of criminals, and they get thrown into the ring. But the thing is that no one has ever beaten a gladiator, and Arnold Schwarzenegger starts killing them all. And it's
some people, there was three guys that wasn't it three guys that they always said they made it.
Yeah, and they didn't.
And they got to go to the Caribbean. They got freedom, but they actually didn't get there. It was just a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam. Yeah, they killed them all. Yeah, they all die. But no, it's a good one. And then there's actually a couple of guys because that was after Predator. Because a couple of guys that are in that movie are in Predator as well. Like they're friends of Arnold.
Yeah.
So I guess he was getting them jobs. Yeah, I read that on one of those Facebook posts about things behind the scenes that you don't realize, and the actor who played Billy in Predator, the Native American guy, was actually crazy. He was mentally crazy, and they actually had to have private security for him shooting that movie so he wouldn't hurt other people. You're like, damn. It's true.
Wait, hold on a second. Fucking Mick Fleetwood was in The Running Man?
Yes, he was. He was the scientist.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, he was the computer guy. I did
That's
not put those
awesome.
two things together until you said it. Yeah.
Wow, I forgot all about that.
Crazy. Stephen King's in it too.
Didn't know
Jesse
that.
Ventura.
I knew. Yeah, that's the same. It's right after Predator, so there's a lot of actor crossover.
Wow.
I'm from Minnesota.
No kidding. Let's go back and watch this again.
You should watch Running Man. Yeah.
I think I've seen it. It's just one of those movies I think as a kid there was on every once in a while and you'd watch it, but I don't think I ever.
Yes, she was, John.
Maria Conchita Alonso.
She's the main actress in it. She was Smoke. She was a Smoke show.
She was in that movie with Michael Keaton. He plays a hockey player. Barbados. Yeah, but he plays a hockey player, and they end up falling in love. Was it Barbados? What was his name?
Oh, wow. Yeah, she is a Smoke, huh?
Yeah, she was also. I get her and another actress confused because they both had that very 80s curly hair, but they look similar in their shape and just facial features. Mm-hmm. It's the one from Predator 2. I get both of those confused. But...
E.T.
Yeah, but
Phone home.
Very 80s centric episode today.
Well, that's what you started it.
I did.
So I like the thing is that like Chris said, though, she doesn't watch scary stuff, and ET is scary as shit at times.
Dude, I was terrified of ET.
I know Jay was afraid of the ride at Universal Studios.
Yeah, well,
he was terrified of the ride. I go, dude, suck it up, man.
Dude, yeah, suck it up. Yeah. Well, I mean, even the opening scene in ET is scary. Just seeing the keys dangling because you have no idea what that is. I mean, it's a guy, but you don't know what's going on. And then the whole he's dying and he's pale and like that. I mean, that's traumatizing.
Oh, Sherry's mentioning. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, things you could watch.
I still remember seeing the movie ET for previews in the theater. I'm like, Spielberg, you're fucking up on this one. There's no way this is going to be any good.
But even Jaws,
I was wrong.
Yeah, E.T.'s good. I mean, to me, like we've talked about this. I mean, to me,
my guns
without John Williams' score, that's what makes E.T. To me, it's like yes, E.T. is a solid A- film, but then with the score, it just brings it up to legendary status. Because
I would say it's a Reese's Pieces.
The marketing,
yeah.
Jaws, supposedly
that movie made Reese's Pieces.
It did.
Yeah, and I was never a big fan of Reese's Pieces.
Well, they tried to get M&Ms, and M&M said no. Yeah, actually, I read that Jaws is actually the first film to ever do advertising in a movie, and it's very subtle though. It's Heinz ketchup, and it's like in the scene where it's like it's behind, but whereas it became very more part of the industry in the 80s than it is.
Well, you can always tell like a TV show or when they put the Coke and the soda, the name is sticking. It's right there. Got to hit your mark.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of times if they don't pay, they turn it around or they blur it out.
Something. Yeah, it's just some weird ABC cola.
Soda. Yeah. So speaking of Jaws, have you seen
I saw it.
Robert Shaw's son? There's a video from like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I did see that.
Impression of his father.
Yeah.
And like trying to get like a prequel made.
Was he drinking?
Starring him. Apparently I can't share my screen.
Your screen.
But if you do a Google search for Robert Shaw's son, the first thing that pops up is a link from Bloody Disgusting. And that's actually a video from, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. But he does an impression of his father in the video.
He sounds like him.
And it sounds just like him. So the idea is like, make a prequel about his time in the
Oh,
Navy.
that would be cool. Yeah. Oh, you mean U.S. Indianapolis? Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah. So,
I'll never wear a life jacket again.
But you wonder how, like, you look at him in From Russia with Love, like how solid blonde his hair is and how like jacked and muscular he is, and like how do you get to where he is in Jaws? You're like, damn, you let yourself go, dude.
There was a time between those two movies, right? But yeah,
him and Richard Dreyfuss didn't get along.
Oh, really?
Richard Dreyfuss doesn't get along with anybody.
No,
he's actually coming. He's actually coming to Denver next week for our Comic-Con.
So he won't get along with you either.
No, I mean, the thing is about me is like I'm going down there just to get Hayden Christensen's autograph on my sheet of autographs, and then I'm leaving. But there's a shit ton of really cool actors that I would love to meet, but I ain't paying $100 a pop. So,
Sherry, she's keep dropping some suggestions in the chat for my daughter to watch, and spot on. Yeah, so Back to the Future is she's Back to the Future is always safe. My daughter is and has been for like the last 2 or 3 years obsessed with Back to the Future. She's probably watched all 3 of those films, maybe at least a couple dozen times. She loves watching Back to the Future. John the Retired Guy says Castaway wanted UPS as the company in the movie, but the executives in charge at the time didn't want the public to see a UPS plane crash.
That makes sense. Like I always wondered why he was from Memphis. I know that's where FedEx is headquartered, but it's like, well, you're supposed to be from Memphis and you live in Memphis, but none of you have Southern accents at all.
Yeah.
And so like, oh, because that's why they switched.
Well, maybe he moved to Memphis.
No one moves to Memphis.
If you're working for FedEx,
no one ever moves to Memphis.
I still like the part where he gets he's been rescued and they have that party for him. It's all seafood.
Oh, right. Actually, my
Knoxville.
Oh yeah, you told us that. Yeah, a month ago or so. Yeah, that's gonna be.
She's moving down there next month. Actually,
Knoxville is a pretty. I mean, it's a small town, but it's
my niece.
His niece to go to school, to go to college.
Yep.
And she'll be wearing orange and singing Rocky Top, and like it's done. It's a good town. But actually, it's funny to me. Like the thing I always remember about Castaway is when he finds the little bit of the Porta-John and he reads it and it says Bakersfield and he's so happy. I'm like, you were probably the first person ever in the history of mankind to be happy to find something from Bakersfield,
because Bakersfield stinks.
It's horrible.
It's a dairy state, right? I mean, dairy city.
Area,
they have lots of cows, and you wake up in the morning, you go, "Oh my god!"
It's Dodge City. Dodge City smells like shit from end to end.
Well, look how old it is.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of oil rigs.
Got a Marshall.
Bakersfield too.
A lot of what?
There's a town, Gorham, Maine. It's a paper city, and it still is a paper city.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going on a ski trip up the Sunny River up in Maine, and we stayed in Gorham, and it was like if you stepped outside your hotel room, it just smelled like absolute shit. Because if you've ever been in a paper city, the smell of paper mills is disgusting. Absolutely gross.
Place just outside of Richmond. It stinks.
Petersburg?
I don't know if it's a big. It's where it's Braves minor league team. One of the Braves minor league teams plays there. But when you go driving through there, I go, "Oh my god, this place stinks." And I think it's paper. I think it's paper mill.
Most likely. Yeah, but if your niece needs recommendations, places to eat, things like that, I lived there 14 years.
Yeah. I want to go down and visit. I mean, I think that it's actually super, super accessible. Like direct flights happen regularly from Boston, and it's like $65 flights.
It's one of the easiest airports in the world. Yeah, Knoxville's super cheap. And when you land there, I actually lived. The last house I lived was right next to the airport. But yeah, Knoxville is like a lot of Tennessee is rapidly growing from all the people leaving the north and California because in a zero income tax state. But it's Knoxville is a I like it. I mean, if I moved back to Tennessee, East Tennessee is where I would be, either Chattanooga or most likely it would probably be in Blount County, which is just south of Knoxville where the airport is, just because I'd have to fly for my job. But right there, because you're hugged against the Smokies, you've got everything you want right there. And The only problem with Knoxville, there's only two problems with Knoxville, and it's the traffic because it's a bottleneck kind of town because it's in a valley between mountains, and air pollution and I can't remember if it's the spring or the fall. I think it's the fall. Like the air pollution comes down from Ohio and kind of gets trapped there. So that's the only two negative things I have to say about Knoxville.
Yeah.
And we actually do have 2 emails for later if you guys want.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Fun till your daddy takes your T-bird away.
Fried chicken. Randy, what do you mean talking about fried chicken?
I haven't had fried chicken in forever.
I have it all the time. Not actually proper fried chicken, like with bone on or everything, but yeah, who doesn't love fried chicken?
Fried chicken's the best.
Awesome.
Absolute best.
I used to work for the Colonel. I know.
These wee beady eyes and his little smile, like, oh, you're gonna eat my chicken.
KFC. He's talking about KFC.
Yeah. KFC.
You know, I love it when people look at an image different than the way it's intended. And someone, you know, when you have the side of the bucket or even just the billboard of KFC, you know, it's his head, but he has his little bow tie. And someone goes, I always thought it was his arms and 2 legs, and it's just like, yeah, they're just hanging.
But now I can't unsee it. It's so fucking funny. So funny.
I've never noticed it.
Yeah, it looks like a stick figure with the Kentucky with the big ass
head on it. It's a stick figure with a big ass head. Like it's meant to be his tie, but you're like, oh, I totally see it.
I've always just seen the tie. I mean, I don't
pull it up, Jack. Look at it.
Yeah.
I don't get out much.
I'd show you my screen, but this shit is broken.
You know, another because I never eat KFC or Kentucky Fried Chicken, but every time I think of it, I think of the Smothers Brothers because they did a commercial back in the '80s, early '80s, if you remember it. It was Kentucky Fried Chicken, they do it right. Those buttermilk biscuits so fluffy and light. You know,
I always thought it was a bow tie. I'm looking at it right now, but
it's definitely a bow tie. It's a tie.
I know, but I never. But now that you, I always saw it as a bow tie. But now that you say it, it does look like a stick figure.
Yeah. For someone who does not understand that's a tie, for someone who doesn't understand that's a tie, they just go like, "Why is it a stick figure with a big ass head on it?"
How do I share this? That is weird. Wild and wacky.
These were so much better, man.
They really were. I mean, and the thing that I miss the most about the '80s is probably Pizza Hut.
Oh fuck yeah!
And it's just because Pizza Hut was like an event as a kid. I mean, like you go there, you got the buffet, you got the Bigfoot, you know, square pizza, you got the games, you got everything there that a kid would want, you know. And it was back when
tabletop Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And now
it was awesome.
Yeah, Pizza Hut now is just a sad thing.
The one I like was
See, look, it's
just a big ass head on a stick figure. Yeah.
No, I used to like Straw Hat Pizza. They used to show old movies like the.
Oh, that's a cool way to show a picture here.
I don't know.
They used to show like Abbott Costello, the Laurel and Hardy movies, and they would show these movies. You could buy peanuts and the pizza. And the best thing was they would have these $2 off coupons on the back of grocery receipts. So we drive around trying to find the $2 off coupon. And once we found it, okay, we can go eat. Those were good. Those were good times.
Back when you could afford stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's sad. You know, it's like, even as a kid, you know, growing up, when Chris and I grew up, you know, it's like, even if you had no money, you could still scrounge change here and there and do stuff to go buy something. Nowadays, like everything's $10 or more. And you're like,
we used to gather soda bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we would do. We, you know, you get you get enough of them, like 5 cents a pop. Is that the concert?
Yeah, that's each one.
Yeah.
But like you said, things are so expensive now. You'd have to gather like 1,000 bottles to.
Yeah, you got to start stealing catalytic converters now to Yeah.
Or capacitors for fucking air condenser,
Right.
air conditioner condensers, for Christ's sake. Fucking thing. That looks like shit without a green actual like curtain up behind me. Let me change that back.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's such a wide fish angle. It's hard to.
Yeah.
So I have a green screen.
Mm-hmm.
Look how clear it is. Look how fancy it is.
Fucking big head Colonel.
Like I said, I see it now, and now it's I never
big head
saw
Colonel
the stick figure before.
That's what I always like was when someone has a different angle on something. You know, like, oh yeah, I see it. It's kind of like like everyone knows the Mississippi River guy holding the plate of chicken, right? You've seen that where, and the chef. And I was like, well, have you ever seen the kangaroo with the erection in the Northeast? And they're like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, look at New England with Pennsylvania and New York and New Jersey. I was like, New York's the tail. I was like, New Jersey's the legs. I was like, Maine is the head of the kangaroo, and then Massachusetts is its arms. The kangaroo. I was like, and in Long Island's its erection. I was like, and that's the kangaroo.
I have never once heard of that before.
Yeah.
Or you have the FedEx logos with like the arrow going the direction
right
of where it's going. Why are you playing with the Colonel's feet, dude?
I'm trying to draw him some shoes here.
What was the other one? Oh man, the logos. Like, there's a lot of logos. Like like Wendy's, the Wendy's logo. So her little like what do you call it? I don't know what she's wearing. It's like a collar thing, like maybe a little lapel or a dress or whatever. It actually says "mom" on it.
Oh, the Wendy. Wait, you talking about
Wendy's? Yeah.
Wendy's. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's funny. Like I had a college guy. He never called it Wednesday. He always called it the redhead slut. and it took me years to understand. Yeah, he's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to the redhead slut. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, he never would explain it. It took me years to figure out what the fuck he meant. And I was like,
you just thought he was getting laid every Thursday.
That's just what he always called it. And so every time I hear someone say I'm going to Wendy's, it's an automatic like, oh, you're going to the redhead slut. Like,
that's funny. Yeah, someone brought the idea of birthdays back in the 80s too. While we're on the 80s topic, thinking like the birthday party when you would go to McDonald's in the 80s. Mm-hmm. That was like the best.
Well, that's because they had fun shit there back then. You had the outdoor playground and all that.
You had that fucking burger jail. Remember the burger jail?
Yeah. And there was always some kid that stuck his head through it. Got stuck every time.
Yep.
I mean, most of them, like in my little town, most kids' birthday parties were at the roller rink. So everyone went,
Oh yeah, we had that too. Yeah, the closest roller rink for us was across the street from, or like diagonally across the street from, Riverside Park, which is now known as Six Flags New England. But I remember it was like we would go to the roller. They call it the rollaway or the roller. I forgot what this movie.
What the fuck you doing?
I was yawning. I'm sorry. I thought I had my mic on mute.
No, fucking Darth Vader. I was definitely not muted. Jay, I'm your father.
So if you did like a normal birthday party, definitely at the roller rink. But if you were if you went to the fancy birthday, then everyone drove an hour north to Chuck E. Cheese. No, I'm sorry, Showbiz Pizza. Showbiz Pizza.
Fuck yes.
That was the like, oh man, this is gonna be a kick-ass birthday party. It's at Showbiz.
Yes. I remember to this day. On my birthday party, I pulled a wicked dickhead move prank on my buddy, and the whole place was in on it, right? So we're sitting down, they're serving out the pizza for us. My buddy John went to go take a piss, and I secretly pulled up the cheese on his pizza and shook like the crushed red peppers on them. And I'll never forget, like the waitress saw me do it, and she was like, "That's fucking funny. I want to stick around and watch this." Like I remember it like it was like a America's Funniest Home Videos. Like I don't think it's ever recorded anymore, but that's how I envision it. And I remember he came back to the table and took a bite of his pizza, and he was like, and she's like, "Do you want some water?" He goes, "Yeah, water would help." Like he was like this 8-year-old kid who's like hyperventilating because he's crushing pepper.
John, the retired guy, asked, "Did we have Farrell's in San Diego?" Yes, we did. Farrell's was it was an ice cream shop where a lot of kids went for their birthdays, and they had this thing called the zoo, and they had these little plastic toys or animals in the ice cream, but I think they stopped it because a couple of kids were choking or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They used to run around with the big bowl of ice cream and with they'd run around like a fire. I don't know. It was good. It was a good place to go.
Yeah, we had Friendly's ice cream. I don't know if Friendly's. I don't know if you guys get that chain down. They're like a twin.
No, I've heard of it though, for sure.
We have Unfriendlies.
What?
We have
Unfriendly.
Oh, Unfriendly. But Friendly's was awesome. So it was like established in Western Mass in Wilbraham, Massachusetts. So it was very, very prevalent around where I grew up. Like my hometown actually had 3 Friendlies in it.
Wow.
One at the exit to the highway, one on the north side of town, and one on the south side of town. Like it was a popular place to go.
I see them when I'm driving up north.
Yeah, they used to have the best ice cream, and it's very passable ice cream today.
Just passable. Yeah.
There's so many better options for ice cream.
Well, that's what's funny to me about tastes, as how your taste buds change every 7 years, and how something that was excellent to you, 10 years ago is now just kind of like, it's all right. Either is it because the quality went down, or is it just that so many other people took what they did and then built on top of it to make it better? Like you don't know.
Both. Or both. Like, I in the case of Friendly's, like Friendly's used to be, it was a chain, but it was a small regional chain, and it was like a big deal. Like it was a big deal in Massachusetts. Like Friendly's was a place everybody went to.
Well, I think nowadays restaurants cut corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got big, and I know they started expanding outside of the region, and that's when things went to shit, and then they lost their business model. And it shrunk down, and now there's like maybe one in the state of Massachusetts now.
Well, I'm saying now it's so expensive. Food is so expensive that they get lower quality stuff.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
I know I used to love Torchy's, this Mexican restaurant here. Last 3 times I went there, I go, it's not good anymore. I go, there's something wrong with it, and I think it's just that they went cheap with the cheese, probably.
You mean Torchy's Tacos?
It's a taco place.
Yeah, it's a chain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we've got like 2 or 3 here. So,
but it used to be excellent,
and
now it's like, okay, this is just.
My favorite place in Knoxville. Been going there since '97. I don't want to say the name, but when I went before even college, all the way through college, it was the best fucking deli I've ever eaten at in my entire life. And everything was always expensive there. They called it the drunk tax because you would go because it was open 24/7. And so if you showed up at 3 a.m. hammered, all of a sudden you got charged an extra $1 for everything you ordered, and you paid it because you were so fucking hammered you didn't care. But I started noticing that probably a decade ago, that every time I would go, the quality of the beef of the burger wasn't as good. They didn't put as much turkey on your turkey sandwich. It wasn't the same. And every now and then, though, if I go in there and someone who's known me for 20 years will make it the way it used to be and actually take it, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I fucking want. But I kind of feel sorry. John Retired Guy said, Subway is not a deli. It is not. It's basically a cake with a little bit of meat on it. No, this place, it was right next to my fraternity, and I lived next to it for 6 years. And so I ate there all the time. And I go, even to this day, when I go in every year during Christmas break, when they see me, I don't even order. They just know what to make, and they just start making it because they know me that well.
Well, that was a problem. Like Subways and Jersey Mike's, they chased the delis at it. They kicked them. They're no longer in business,
right?
Because of the
delis
were
the
the delis were the best. Your local,
yeah.
Jersey Mike's is slaying it right now, though.
They're so damn expensive, though.
Good stuff, but they're super expensive.
It used to be $10. It used to be $10 for the giant, and now they're $15 or $16 for a giant. Yeah, and so it's $30, and then with tax and tip, you're easily spending close to $40 for 2 giant sandwiches. And
it's not as good as we used to have. We have one by our house, and I only go there if I'm just don't feel like cooking and want something quick because it's just not as good. I don't know what it is. The bread's not good. I don't.
What's your number then? Which one do you like? Jersey Mike's.
I get the 6 Mike's Way, the roast beef.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with Chris. So
he gets the fucking pork chop sandwich.
Yeah.
They don't have the pork chop sandwich.
But if they did, you'd fucking crush one.
Yeah.
Bone
in.
I probably wouldn't because I got at Bojangles. I got one morning. I got the pork chop biscuits, and they were dry, terrible. I'm telling you, the only reason I get the pork chop at Ruth Chris is because it's the best fucking thing on the menu. Well, it's not even on the menu.
Yeah,
because nobody wants it.
Yeah,
but
why would you?
But they all recommend it. They all recommend. If you ask any waiter, how's the pork chop? Best thing we make.
Because they're getting incentivized to clearing that shit out the kitchen. Like, okay, recommend.
It's been sitting in the fridge for 6 months. It's about to go bad. We need to get rid of this shit.
I'm telling you,
it's so tender for a reason. It's falling apart from the rot.
You could cook it you can cut it with a plastic fork and knife. I'm telling you, it's that tender. Yeah. I'm not to defend myself on that.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Because my wife just came in here and said, "Who are you talking to?" I said, "It's the Ramblecast." She goes,
"Oh,
you said you were going to go take a shower." I go, "Okay, I took a shower 2 hours ago. Do you think I'm still taking a shower?" When I didn't come back, and she's like, "You never say anything." I'm like going, "Okay."
There's definitely, Chris, Chris, if you end up going to Knoxville, there's definitely a place I will send you to go eat. It's a little out of the way from the campus area, and it's not even what they're known for, but it's the only place I've ever had it, and it's a deep fried corn on the cob, and it's so fucking good.
Deep fried corn on the cob? I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, they just batter it, deep fry it, and then you eat. It's so damn good.
Sign me up.
Yeah, I would try it. I would try that.
They've got a really good spinach con queso dip. Everything on the menu is pretty good. It's not like a 5-star super expensive.
A Spanish what? Can queso?
A spinach con queso.
Oh, spinach.
Queso.
I don't like spinach.
That's what's good about this one is that it's not the wangy spinach that you would associate with that. It's mostly
wangy.
Yeah, because that's what spinach does.
I don't like that wangy spinach.
I've never heard that term in my life.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Fantastic. It's a good way to describe it. Fucking
I'm going to be saying, everything I say for the next week is going to be wangy.
Yeah, because that's how it tastes. Like, it's wang. That's how I've always.
It's the best way to describe it. It's amazing. I never thought of it.
There's no other way to describe it but wangy.
Yeah, wangy. It's wangy. Anyway, but it's a good one. It's the only one I'll eat. I'm like, damn, that's a damn good dip.
Damn good dip. It's not wangy at all.
It's not wangy at all. No. But you give me chips and some cheese, I will gain 10 pounds. So. But yeah, and then what I might go to, even though the steak is really good, my go-to there is a almond crusted flounder, which is actually really good.
Ooh. One of the best fish dishes I've ever had was actually it was oatmeal granola crusted whitefish, and it was fucking amazing. Like it was, I couldn't even tell you what fish it was. It just tasted so goddamn good. We know what it looks like.
It looks wangy.
Looks a little bit wangy and almond.
Wangy, you know.
We all know. We know what wangy is.
Wangy fried chicken.
That good old vein snapping back at you.
All right, I don't need fried chicken again. All right, we should probably start wrapping this up.
That wasn't cartilage. Yeah, we had a couple emails.
Yeah. All right, oh, 1 second.
Oh.
All right, we have 2. The first one is from Mandy. Hey, from Mandy.
Mandy. Okay, she's usually the survivor. She sends emails to Survivor. But go ahead.
This isn't Survivor.
I know, but she's. When you said Mandy, it kind of threw me off.
She took time out of her day.
It got me wangy. It got me wangy when you said Mandy. I just was like confused. But go ahead. Mandy.
Hey, RCAD host. Nick is completely right about Nashville. As someone born and raised here, in no way am I ever going willingly to choose to go to Broadway. Before a Preds game, possibly for a quick drink. But before a Titans game, there are better places to go. Earlier this year, we had family in town that wanted to experience Broadway, and after walking downtown, they saw why I said Broadway was awful, thanks to bachelorette parties and drunken tourists.
Yeah.
Mr. Mandy has
That's why I'm there, Mandy.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to be a sober tourist.
Yeah. But I guess people who grew up, remembering how any city is, and all of a sudden another part of town takes over, and people think that's actually what it is.
Germantown's actually fucking awesome. I think is that like the section of Nashville, Germantown?
That's pretty wangy.
When I think Germantown, I think Memphis, but
I stayed in I think it was called Germantown. It was fucking really cool. Spots that actually got wiped the fuck out in that tornado a couple of years back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure, because there's definitely regions of Nashville. But
did you stay at the Gestapo Inn?
What are you implying, Jack?
I'm just saying it's Germantown.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, fuck's sake. There was a burger joint in Germantown that was incredible. I gotta find it now.
Okay. Mr. Mandy has the same feelings about the dentist as Chris. He had to get a clearance from the dentist for a medical thing, which resulted in him doing 11 fillings in 2 days.
Ooh.
Hopefully Chris's was not that bad. Mandy.
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm telling you, the dentist is the people I went to. They're the fucking nicest people in the entire face of the planet. The experience that I had at the dentist on Friday and today, thus far, has been nothing but positive. And I was actually like super fucking scared going in on Friday. And the last thing I wanted to do 5 hours after I got home from a Grateful Dead concert this morning was to get up and go get a fucking root canal.
Yeah,
but they made it so like comforting and the opposite of what I thought it was going to be. And I'm just, if that's the way dentists are now, then I'll be going all the time now, because it was actually really nice. So go do it. Get your teeth taken care of.
Yeah. Don't be an anti-dentite.
Don't be nice.
All right. Our second email is from a guy we're not too much of a fan of, named Randy. He writes, just a quick note to say hi to the fan.
Actually, you know what? We're going to stop the show right here.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm just kidding.
It's a quick note. It just says a quick note to say hi to the fan favorite, Randy, Sleepy Randy.
Fan favorite's not here.
I think he was implying that it could be any of us.
Oh,
but we don't know.
No, it can't be Chris. Am I right?
Maybe he is. And forgets. Yeah.
Chris is a little wandy.
He's a little wanky.
Wanky. What'd you say? Was it wanky or
wangy?
Wangy. That's what it was. I already forgot it. Let me write this down. Wangy.
Yeah. How else would you describe eating spinach? It's got a bit of a wang.
It's fucking wanky. That's the only way to do it. That's the only way I'm going to do it.
I guess, but I don't know what it means. But that's okay.
It doesn't have to mean anything. It's just you get it. Yeah, it's wangy. It's
wangy.
Totally
I just don't like spinach. I was a big fan of Popeye growing up, but no. I always wondered, why didn't Bluto have spinach?
He didn't need it.
He kept getting his ass kicked every episode. At the end,
it was all the roids.
Right. Yeah. But why didn't he juice up with the spinach? At what point do you go, all right, if I juice up, I'm stronger than Popeye already. I would kick Popeye's ass. Right? Am I right?
Why?
See, I always viewed it like, and here's in the perspective of like, KFC big head perspective. Like, I always viewed it as it was specific to Popeye that made him like super strong with the spinach. It was like his superhero stuff. I didn't view it as spinach makes everybody strong. I viewed it as spinach made Popeye strong.
I thought they made the cartoon just to sell spinach and get people in the Navy. But
perhaps.
And who did Olive Oil sleep with to get sweet pea?
Both of them. The Eiffel Tower.
But I don't know. She was never married, right? I mean, this was back in the 40s and 50s.
Also, Talia Shire, wasn't she? No, she wasn't Talia Shire. She was, what's her name? Who played?
It was the woman from The Shining.
Shining, yeah.
What's her name? Fuck.
I see her. She has like mental issues.
Yeah, she's yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember watching. She did a series.
Shelley Duvall.
She did a series in the 80s based on a lot of the Grimm stories, and it's kind of a forgotten thing. But I remember watching. That's how like the first time I knew about the Three Little Pigs and all those little children's stories. That she actually got a lot of A-list actors to perform these children's stories. Because I remember Billy Crystal was in the one with Three Little Pigs, and there's a bunch of them that they did, and no one remembers them though. But I mean, they probably weren't. They probably were good for the '80s, but not so much today. But,
add it to your daughter's watch list.
You can find them. You just have to look up Shelley Duvall and like what she did, and you can find them.
Yeah, because she just fell off the face of the earth as far as acting. And found out that she had issues.
She wasn't really that good of an actress, anyhow. I think that was one of Stanley Kubrick's biggest regrets was casting her in The Shining, because he was a perfectionist, and he never yelled at.
I thought she was good in The Shining.
Well, she did some things good and some things not so good, but like, yeah.
Well, if you're going to go up against Jack Nicholson in acting, you have to be
right. But yeah, you can watch. I'm sure you can find it. There was a documentary that came out somewhere around 2000, 2001 about Kubrick, and it goes through all the films. And when they get to The Shining, there's interviews with Jack and with Shelley and all them, and you see a lot of these, this footage of him Kubrick just yelling, just laying into her, because he wants, he wants the performance that he wants out of her, and he was not. I don't think he was an actor's director. He was a conceptual director. Because even like in Full Metal Jacket, like the actor he had the most problems with was Adam Baldwin, because Adam Baldwin is not really that good of an actor either. He's just kind of plays the same stone-faced kind of actor, and they did take after
you
take.
Walk the walk,
right? Exactly. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the Kubrick's probably my favorite director. So, but I love.
He couldn't act. Directors can't act that way now.
No, and some of the things he did, yeah. But I don't know. Like Kubrick was, he was such a legend. People would have done whatever, and
he can do what the fuck he wants.
Yeah, whatever the fuck he wants. I think we talk about this a few weeks back, where there's a lot of projects of his that hopefully one day will come to light. Because Spielberg keeps saying that he's going to turn. It's one of the two. Like he wrote a screenplay for about Napoleon, and then he also did one called The Aryan Papers, which is about the Holocaust. And when Spielberg came out with Schindler's List, he shelved it because he's like, well, Spielberg did it, and his is really good. So he's got all these unfinished scripts that no one has ever made, and so like now he's like, sure, and so people have the talent. That's the thing, though, is that it's with AI. When Spielberg did AI, people are going to hold it to Spielberg's, to Kubrick's meter. And so it's like, if you cannot make it a Kubrick film, then they're going to rip you apart. And that's why a lot of pressure don't want to do it. It's tons of pressure. Yeah.
Well, it's got to do better than The Flash, right?
Well, anything can do better than The Flash. And I'm actually kind of disappointed in that. I mean, I didn't want to see it because I don't care about The Flash. The only reason why I would see it, period, is to see Keaton be Batman again. And that's what people have said, is that, like, in the Keaton scenes, it's awesome. But I just didn't care anything. I mean, I think a lot of people have superhero.
We need to move
tired
on.
of it. Yeah, because like it's basically starting with Iron Man. Oh, it's really way even into the 2000s with Spider-Man, but like really starting with 2008 when you have the MCU officially start with Iron Man. It's been 15 years. It's like people are kind of burnt out on these superhero films and just let it be for a little while.
I agree.
That's what I mean. Like, I mean, they're all saying that Indiana Jones is going to be a flop, and not necessarily just because of the picture. It's because they invested over $300 million into the film, and there's no way you can recover from that. And it's like, why would you sink $300 million into it unless you use Cameron? But it's just you can't recoup from that.
I agree. It's what's like when a war movie takes off, and then you have war movie. I mean, during the 40s, 50s, and 60s, it was war movies, westerns, and then eventually, people grew tired of those, and then, it just, Hogan's Heroes is over. You guys are full screen. Well, that's great.
Honored. Appreciate it. We don't want to.
But anyway,
We're not the side chick.
This will be the last live show for about 2 weeks, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I could do next week, but I don't think you guys can. And then 2 weeks in July, I can't. Yeah, so
I can do well. Anyway,
I think me and you and Matt could probably podcast next week, but I'm not sure.
All right, so then we'll.
And then I'm off the 2 weeks in July, middle 2 weeks. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll be here next week. Maybe we won't. I don't know. I think my internet's starting to go because the storm is coming through.
Well, you temporary flows a little bit, but not bad.
Okay, but
Nick's freezing on my screen.
Oh, yeah.
And Nick's freezing on mine, and I'm sure I'm free. I thought it was me because of the internet.
So I've never froze. Y'all been great the whole time for me.
Nick's the problem. It seems.
Oh. Whatever. Oh, so
Jack
Jack's
is not
frozen.
Now. He's not frozen.
Okay.
Wangy internet says. Wangy internet. Yes.
But you'll see. I'll post something next week on Facebook if we're here next week. Get Matt back on the show. Chris will be enjoying his Cape Cod. Where are you going?
Yes, Cape Cod.
Cape Cod. Drinking, drugs, and lobster. Is that what?
I mean, that's a T-shirt I need to make.
Hey, I'm not complaining.
T-shirt, drugs, and lobster. I'll be drinking, drugs, and lobster.
I'll be in Pittsburgh the next couple of days watching my Padres. Yay, me. Season had so much hope to start out with, and now it's just like going down the drain. But that's all we got. We thank our patrons. We thank everybody who is a patron, but we're going to thank Eckhart Rickner Glaffeler, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, and Ed the Creepy Poopy Letter Carrier. Thanks for what you do and everyone you do. And thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat tonight on this special Monday night podcast. Hasta luego and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Wangy.